Ooh, yeah. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're Aunt Mickey's house. Yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, prop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Roll talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayers, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Known in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light. Hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat, come on in and hit that light. Hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet, let's sip some tea. Sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in a house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Hit that light. Don't forget. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Don't talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. To the press, she keeps it real. Keeps it real, keeps it real. That's the deal, that's the deal, baby. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house, oh yeah.
Well, uh-oh, what happened here? What's going on? What's going on with the music? I'll be doggone. I don't know if this is YouTube, StreamYard, or what, but for some reason, my music ain't playing. Ain't this a blip? Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. What is going on? What in the world is going on for real? I have no sound. Y'all can't hear this music, can you? Let me know if y'all can hear the music, this background music. For some reason, it's not playing. This is weird. I mean, hey, music don't stop no show, but still, there's been some strange stuff going on lately with YouTube. No music. Well, okay. That is too strange. Too strange. Well, I guess I'll just have to do without it. Music don't stop no show. Good Lord. No music. Wow. Okay. Well, nevertheless, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Ooh, poor voice. Dear Nolan. Happy birthday to you. It's sad that I had to sing it. It's so sad. I had to sing it for you because the voice is gone. Oh, okay. Well, as y'all probably know, today is Nolan's birthday. He would have been 19 years old today. 19. Here, let me get up out of this media. Yes, it was, Barbara. It was a good day. If y'all haven't, and I'll just slide this in real quick. If y'all haven't already heard, Carmelo Anthony got that judge has been recused. Boot his ass up out of there. Get up out of here. You know you ain't right. You know you ain't right. But we'll talk about that at a later time. Today, we're going to talk about Nolan. Nolan would have been 19. Today is the 19th of August, and today would have been his 19th birthday. Well, it is his 19th birthday, but this is his heavenly birthday. And, excuse me, our community has definitely come together to, pay respects to this young man whose life ended on July 4th. And the parents wrote a beautiful letter to him. And I couldn't imagine. Well, yes, I can. I can imagine. Writing your child a letter on his birthday. I'm going to pull that up and share it with you. Let me get this down real quick. Hello, Cece. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get to greet everybody because, man, my doggone music is tripping. So, okay. I'm used to clicking on live music when I get on, but it's told me to go screw myself. So I guess I have to do without it. But anyway, let me go ahead and share this letter with you. You guys may not have seen it, but it's a very touching letter, and man, it's just awful that this happened to him. It's awful, but even better is that we're not gonna let it go. We're not letting this go, y'all. It says, today you are 19, no. There are so many things we want to say, but we will keep it simple. As we sit here and reflect on what an amazing kiddo you grew up to be, we can't help but to feel blessed, honored, proud, most of all thankful. Thankful we were able to experience a glimpse of God's love in human form. Although you are no longer physically here with us, we will always celebrate you and the legacy you have left for us to protect. You have taught us so much about life and how every day is a blessing and how we have to do better at just living in the moment. Thank you for being the best son, brother, grandson, nephew, and friend anyone could ever ask for. Thank you for bringing joy, laughter, and real happiness to us each and every day. You are truly our angel. You will be missed every second of every day, and you will never be forgotten, our sweet sunshine. Happy heavenly 19th birthday, Nono. Remember, don't eat too much Oreo cake and hug Grandma for us. And she spoke something in Filipino that I am not going to even attempt to read. It says the taglog to English translation says, "We love you, our beloved son and brother. Love mom, dad, siblings, and family." That is, man, I can't even, I can't imagine having to sit down and write that letter. I can imagine how she feels, but then in the same token, y'all already know my story, so we ain't gonna get into that. But they still don't have answers. They still don't have answers as to what happened to this young man. But here we do have a little good news. Excuse me. We do have a little bit of good news here. There's a petition out. Let me share it with you. About this Staci Turner chick. For those who don't know, Staci Turner is the medical examiner who clearly is, she got some problems. She's got some real problems. She has a tendency to never, she doesn't do right by black people. Let's just be real. When it comes down to signing off on death certificates, autopsies, whatever, she has a tendency to rule them out as accidental or drowning. These are categories that they're not required to do autopsies if those are the categories of these individuals. And there's several instances of where there were questionable circumstances behind deaths of young black men in Mississippi, and she shrugged it off as though it ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. That ain't the case. That ain't the case. So here I have shared with you the petition that is up online right now, and it's up to 47,344 verified signatures. Okay, this is to revoke her medical license, and I believe that people can access this online, if I'm not mistaken. And if you want to do so, feel free to sign the petition, because she got some splaining to do. Now, here it says the issue is the petition demanding an independent investigation into the conduct of Mississippi Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Staci Turner. And this says, to the governor of Mississippi, the Mississippi State Board of Medical Licensure, the Mississippi Department of Public Safety, the Mississippi Attorney General, the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, and all agencies charged with protecting the integrity of Mississippi's criminal justice system. We, the undersigned citizens, families, advocates, and supporters of equal justice under the law, respectfully but unequivocally call for an immediate independent investigation into the professional conduct, forensic determinations, and death investigations overseen by Mississippi Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Staci Turner. The Office of the State Medical Examiner occupies one of the most consequential positions within Mississippi's justice system. Medical examiners are entrusted with determining the cause and manner of death through objective scientific analysis. Their conclusions influence criminal investigations, judicial proceedings, insurance determinations, and most importantly, whether grieving families ever receive justice. That public trust is compromised whenever credible questions arise regarding the accuracy, consistency, or impartiality of death investigations. Over the past several years, multiple deaths involving African American individuals have generated substantial public concern. Families, independent forensic experts, civil rights advocates, and members of the public have questioned whether these investigations were conducted with the with the rigor, transparency, and impartiality required by accepted forensic standards. And it goes on to list some of the examples. We've got DeMar Travion, Trey is what he was known by. Trey Reed, he was a 21-year-old Delta State University student found hanging from a tree in September 2025. I did a live about that, as a matter of fact, if you ever want to go back and check that out. It was done last year. Although his death was officially ruled unaliving by his own hand, his family has publicly challenged that determination and commissioned an independent forensic review. Their pursuit of additional examination reflects a profound lack of confidence in the state's investigation. Then there's Damian Cameron. Damian Cameron, following his death after an encounter with Rankin County Sheriff's deputies, Dr. Turner's office classified the manner of death as undetermined. Independent forensic pathologists later concluded that the evidence supported a homicide determination, raising significant questions about the original findings and whether critical evidence was appropriately evaluated. Then there was Shannon Wilson, 13 years old. 13 years old. His family has publicly expressed concern that his body was embalmed before they believed all necessary forensic examinations had been completed, thereby limiting opportunities for additional independent analysis. Ain't that some shit? I would be livid. Let me continue. I'll talk later. Whether or not protocol was followed, the circumstances have further eroded public confidence in the integrity and transparency of Mississippi's death investigation process. And then the last but not least, Nolan Xavier Wells. His death has likewise become the subject of significant public scrutiny. An independent forensic pathologist concluded that the manner of death should remain undetermined pending further investigation, and stated that foul play could not be excluded. That opinion stands in contrast to the state's conclusions and underscores the need for objective review. Excuse me. No single disputed case necessarily establishes misconduct. However, when multiple investigations involving similar public concerns continue to emerge, government oversight is not merely appropriate, it is essential. This petition does not ask the public to presume wrongdoing. Instead, it asks government officials to fulfill their legal and ethical obligation to determine whether Mississippi's death investigation system is operating with scientific integrity, professional independence, and equal treatment under the law. And we probably can tell that ain't been the case. Accordingly, we demand that the appropriate authorities appoint an independent panel and board-certified forensic pathologists from outside the state of Mississippi to review disputed death investigations overseen by Dr. Staci Turner, conduct a comprehensive audit on death classifications in cases where credible concerns have been raised by families or supported by independent forensic opinions, determine whether accepted forensic pathology standards, ethical obligations, and state laws were consistently followed, examine whether any systemic disparities or patterns exist in the investigation or classification of deaths involving African Americans, publicly release the findings of the investigation to ensure transparency and restore public confidence. If the evidence establishes professional misconduct, gross negligence, incompetence, ethical violations, or any breach of licensing standards, initiate disciplinary proceedings, including suspension or revocation of Dr. Turner's medical license, as warranted by the findings. Public confidence in the justice system cannot exist without confidence in the integrity of forensic death investigations. Every inaccurate determination has the potential to deny justice to victims, deprive families of truthful answers, and undermine the rule of law. The citizens of Mississippi deserve a medical examiner's office that is independent, objective, transparent, and beyond reproach. Justice demands accountability. Truth demands transparency. The people of America deserve both. Respectfully submitted, the undersigned citizens, families, community leaders, and supporters of equal justice and accountability. Now, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful, to say the least. But basically what they're saying is, you better investigate this woman. Because what she's throwing down, we ain't picking up. No more. No more. It's gotten ridiculous, to say the least. And to those who may not even know what these beautiful black men look like, let me just give you a little lowdown. Yeah, we have Nolan, Trey, Shannon, or Cannon. I think they said Cannon, then they said Shannon, and then Damian Cameron. These 4 young African American gentlemen, especially these 3. Nolan is still kind of up in the air about her determination. She gotta go, y'all. She's got to go. It's time for Mississippi to do the right thing and get her up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Here, let me get this down off of the screen. Now, for some reason, there's something going on with, I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know what it is. But this brother, he came out with a really pretty tight, he came out with a tight rap that I would love for y'all to see. Hold on a second. Where'd it go? Don't tell me it's gone. Here we go. Let me share this with you. Okay, pull it up. I think it's loud enough for y'all to hear.
Nah, there's something that really gets me. Meet Staci Turner, Chief Medical Examiner in Mississippi. Out here telling a lot of lies. Why she won't rule mysterious black deaths as homicides? Starting with Trey Reed, it's backwards. College student hanging from a tree on campus. She labeled suicide, but that's sus to me. Black men don't hang themselves up on trees. Or Shannon Wilson was still a child when she labeled his death by accidental drowning. His family don't agree at all, bro. They claim white youth threw him in the water. What about Damian Cameron? Treachery. Lost his life to the sheriff and the deputies. Autopsy showed trauma and blood for certain, but she labeled his cause of death undetermined. And we know this game all too well. Now fast forward to Nolan Wells, only black kid on a whole boat with a set of friends. And despite the insurmountable evidence, somehow they ruled accidental drowning, no signs of foul play. The fix is definitely in. Is it Staci Turner or Staci don't turn the evidence in? Like, I'm just saying, she under scrutiny, but she need to be under investigation. It's like we don't stand a chance. It's time to put body cams on EMT workers and ambulance. Was Mississippi playing games with us still? Since the days of Emmett Till. Staci, we know something ain't right. But remember, what's done in the dark shall come to the light. Nah, this...
What's done in the dark is going to come out in the light. And that's the truth, whether they want to believe it or not. Because God is watching. God is watching. I'm going to have to get Auntie Val to come in and do a sermon on God is watching. Because I certainly can't do it. I'm not. Sorry. But yeah, it's infuriating. I mean, when you read about the stories behind these young men, let's start with Trey. I'm not going to go off deep into each one, but it's Trey Reed was found hanging on the campus of Delta State University. She ruled it a self-unalivement, even though the circumstances showed something considerably different. And of course, the family contested this determination, and I believe it's still under scrutiny. But then we got Damian Cameron. The police arrived at his home. Apparently, they came by there, something about a call about vandalism at a neighbor's house. And whatever happened next remains disputed, except the fact that Damian ends up pronounced dead at the University of Mississippi Medical Center with trauma to his face and arms. And ain't nobody talking. Damian's grandmother, Damian's mom, and baby brother, if I'm not mistaken, were all witnessed to the two arresting officers kneeling on Damian's back and neck for several minutes while placing him into custody. Don't that sound familiar? That sounds very familiar to me. I ain't saying no names. It's pretty sad, though. George Floyd. It reminds me of George Floyd right there. And then there's little Shannon Wilson, 13 years old. Him and his two friends, his two white friends, by the way. They went down by the creek, and his two friends pushed him in the creek and stood there and laughed at him as he splashed around trying to stay above water and couldn't. And they just laughed at him drowning. And this took place on May 8th, 2022. But this is the sickest part of it. His body was embalmed without his family's permission. His body was embalmed without his family's permission, which destroyed evidence that could have possibly proven that he was unalived. And basically, she told them, well, we don't do autopsies on drowning victims or natural causes. So conveniently, she referred it as a drowning. Okay, but you still have yet to prove Was he alive before he went in the water? Was he pushed and held under the water? See, these are the things that autopsies can tell you. But no, and then to turn around and have this young man embalmed without his family's permission is sick. This is, the audacity of it all is what gets me, and it's because they've been able to get away with it for so long, and time is up. We're out here keeping not just Nolan's name out there, but these other young men as well. And there's the list goes on and on and on. Daniel Irvin on April 13th of 2026, this year, it was ruled as a drowning death. It was at Lake Ray Hubbard in Dallas, Texas. And apparently, he and his white friends jumped off of a railroad bridge over the lake. And his body was then discovered 4 days later. Now, according to the arrest affidavit, Daniel went to Lake Ray Hubbard with 19-year-old Lucas Roper and 16 or 17-year-old unidentified male. And apparently the name of the 16 or 17-year-old is not disclosed because he is still a minor. So according to investigators, and actually basically whatever the little boys told them, they all jumped off the railroad bridge into the lake. And the autopsy narrative says Daniel surfaced once, called out for help, according to the two white boys. This is what they said, and went back underwater. The two surviving white boys did not call 911, didn't notify his family, or report the incident to authorities. As a matter of fact, what they did was they took his clothes and his cell phone, I believe, and tossed them. Put the clothes off in a tree somewhere, oh my God. I get pissed every time I think about it, honestly. I really do. Then there's, of course, Tyler Smith. This happened on the 4th of July, same day as Nolan. Now, he suffered a fatal pow to the head. He was at a party of friends in Lexington, Kentucky. And I don't know how many were present at the party, but he was the only black dude and all these white kids. Okay. Tyler was pow-powed on the 4th of July, same day as Nolan. Wait a minute. This don't read right. He wasn't found 2 days later. But apparently the police came to the house when this happened. Took place on the 3800 block of Blue Bonnet Drive. Nothing tastes better with blue bonnet on it. After reports of a shooting, I just had to throw that in there. Officers found this young man suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. Police asked the partygoers what happened, and they said that they were playing Russian roulette. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't know who y'all was raised around. I don't know what kind of kids you guys hung out with. I know back in the day, we wasn't touching pistols and putting them up to our own head to play a game. That's not a game we play. I don't know about other folk, but that's not a game we generally play. But just like Nolan, Tyler was the only one in the bunch. And the police basically took the word of the guy at the house. I guess, I don't know if this is the owner of the house, renter of the house, who knows? I don't know. But he took their word instead of launching a real investigation. And so one of them, I guess, came forward and says, here, this is the pistol. I'll say pistol, not gun. This guy gave him a pistol. And then the police do an analysis. They look at the pistol and find that pistol didn't match. It didn't match up with the casings on the ground. That's right there on the scene. Now, any other time, something like that would have been, look, somebody comes up to you and says, oh yeah, he did it to himself. Here's the gun. They don't take no, what do they call it? They didn't test his hands for gunpowder or anything. Nor did they test anybody in the house. They just took their word for it. They give it to the police. They say, here it is. This is the gun. And, it didn't match up with the casings. But to add insult to injury, like I said, the police didn't even bother to test Tyler's hands, to test his hands, let alone anybody else's, for gunshot residue or substantiate the other dude's statement. It's ridiculous. So they basically took the reporter's word as law. So if this gun right here isn't the gun used to unalive Tyler, where is the real gun? That was the question. Now you'd think they would have arrested or at least detained somebody for further questioning, but they didn't. It was a week later that they returned back to the house because the math just wasn't mathing. It wasn't mathing. The guy then hands the police the actual pistol that unalived Tyler. Under the circumstances with the guy lying about the weapon used, they would have arrested him if he had been black. I mean, honestly. But instead, they charged this guy with tampering with evidence. That's all he got. Tampering with evidence. I can't even say it right. I'm so pissed. But this is what they do. This is what they do to the black community. They brush it off as no big deal. They protect the others in clearly wrong situations. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show that we may have come a long way, but we really have a long way to go. We really do. Someone was asking me, and this is kind of off topic, but it's still kind of in line with what we're talking about here. But someone was asking me not too long ago, well, that KKK stuff, that was a long time ago. And, those people are probably dead by now, or a lot of them are too old to do anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is a generational curse. This Ku Klux Klan and white supremacist movements or groups or whatever you want to call them, those are generational curses. These are behaviors that are taught to children at a very young age. So I did a little bit of research, and even on that, because they don't seem to want to grasp the fact that, that the KKK is still alive and well. It's still alive and well, and I don't think they're going anywhere soon because they're passing this on to their kids. Let me share this with you. Come on, pull up. What is going on with Jesus? Ku Klux Kitties, the KKK's little-known youth movement. In case folk don't know, this is what they're doing. Now, these are old pictures, but imagine, this is still going on right now. Right now. This picture right here is a group of youth being indoctrinated into the KKK. Okay? These are children right here. These are the kids of the KKK and the grandchildren of the KKK. Chances are these kids right now are in their 60s, 70s, and they've passed down the same behavior and same mentality. Says in 1924, a group of 10 children and hundreds of spectators gathered for a mass baptism. There was no mere religious rite. As the children and their parents moved toward the clergyman, they were enveloped by 50 men in white robes. This is the indoctrination. This is the process. It's like a baptism, like they called it. It's like a service, you know. They were the children of the Ku Klux Klan, and their baptism included more than a promise to God. Along with their vows to raise religious children, their parents dedicated their children to the principles and ideals of Americanism. To an outsider, that promise might sound like a patriotic one, but to the KKK, it meant dedicating the children to a lifetime upholding segregation, bigotry, and the violent suppression of anyone who was not a white Protestant. This here is a 7-month-old baby being baptized into the Ku Klux Klan in Long Island, New York. 7-month-old baby. Excuse me. Can you believe it? The children who were christened that day were just a few of the thousands who participated in the KKK and its auxiliary organizations, the Junior Ku Klux Klan for teenage boys, the Tri-K Club for teenage girls, and Ku Klux Kitties and Cradle Clubs for children and infants beginning in the 1920s. This is still going on right now. As the invisible empire of the KKK reached its pinnacle of national influence and membership during that era, children took part in the society's rituals, and entire families dedicated themselves to promoting and sustaining the group's white supremacist ideology. In contrast to its original formation as a Southern terrorist organization during the years of Reconstruction, the KKK of the 20th century invited and encouraged the involvement of women and children as part of its attempt to create a core of true believers who would ensure the supposed purity of the white race. After the release of the film Birth of a Nation in 1915, the Ku Klux Klan movement was revived and grew to encompass 3 to 8 million Klansmen by the mid-1920s. Imagine how big it is now. Imagine just how big it is now. See, we got folks down there in certain places of the South that they think, oh, well, you know, blacks and whites are having relations these days, and they're getting married and they're having babies, so the racism is not really there that much anymore. That's bullshit. That's a bald-faced lie. I know that to be true from personal experience. Now, my daddy ain't no longer here, but I can tell you with my hand on the Bible, I can tell you my daddy told me when I became an adult, he didn't give a damn about my mother. He didn't give a damn about my mother. He got with her. That was his way of getting back at the white man. That's what he told me. I started fooling around with white women to get back at the white folks. That's what he said. So all this, there's no more racism, or racism is not as bad, or the Ku Klux Klan isn't around as prevalent as it used to be. Well, we still have the skinheads and white supremacists and There's still KKK running around. So you can't tell me with a straight face that this stuff has died down. There's no way in hell you can tell me. It says members wanted to keep American society pure and free of the supposed taint of anyone who was not white and Protestant. And they believed the best way to achieve that goal was to involve the entire family. So they had whole families participating in this behavior. Women played an important role in the KKK, which formed around a mission of protecting white women from actual relationships and contact with black men, Catholics, and Jews. Well, they messed up with my daddy because he slipped right on past them. He slipped right on past them if that's what they were trying to do. Elizabeth Tyler and Edward Young Clark, PR professionals who took over the day-to-day operations of the KKK in the early 1920s, saw the potential of Klansmen's wives. The pair soon realized that women who could newly vote not only yielded political power, but could give much-needed cash to the organization, notes historian Michael Newton. Women's groups soon sprang up all over the country, and in 1923, the Women of the Ku Klux Klan was created as an umbrella grouping, gaining 250,000 members within months. And here we have, what is this? Uh-oh, it went black. Well, that's weird. Let me see if I can pull this up. That's a commercial I didn't want. Hold on, you guys. This is bullshit. Okay, let me see. Oh, I'm going to have to stop this video. There we go. Okay. What is wrong with this thing? Okay, so nevertheless, the children were next. Sensing even more economical potential and the opportunity to spread its message of white supremacy to a new generation, the Klan opened its doors to young members through 3 auxiliary groups. The first was for boys only. Beginning in 1923, the Junior Ku Klux Klan served as a miniature Ku Klux Klan with its own secret rituals and hateful messages. In Lincoln's, Pennsylvania, for example, a new Junior Ku Klux Klan group announced its presence by blowing a horn and lighting a J on fire next to a burning cross in 1924. The Junior Ku Klux Klan was so popular that writes historian William F. Pinnar, it was active in 15 states. Lord have mercy. Girls had their own opportunity to participate in the Klan, too, as members of the Tri-K Club. The club modeled itself on the women's organization, and members learned a pledge song whose first verse included the words, "Beneath this flag that waves above, this cross that lights our way, you'll always find a sister's love in the heart of each Tri-K." Hi, Miss Shelley. Members learned about motherhood and traditional gender roles, assisted their mothers in promoting and catering to the main organization, and appeared in parades, sometimes as Miss 100% American, a reference to the KKK's goal of keeping the white race 100% pure. The central message, writes historian Christina D. Roker, was that white girls should remove themselves from contact with all blacks, a passive way of preserving white supremacy. Boys and girls could join their respective auxiliaries starting as teenagers. Before that, children of KKK members were branded as Ku Klux Kiddies. In the 1920s parade in Newcastle, Indiana, notes historian Glenn Michael Zuber, one float featured a little red schoolhouse surrounded by happy children dressed in miniature Klan robes and sporting a Ku Klux Kitties banner. Though these younger children primarily participated in parades and enjoyed festive, Klan-sponsored occasions, they were aware of their parents' participation in the Klan. And of course, this is another Ku Klux Klan initiation ceremony in Georgia. And look who's in the middle. This little kid. These are women standing behind him, by the way, because this one has on stockings. But this here is a Ku Klux Klan initiation ceremony in Georgia. Indeed, some had been dedicated to the group from birth. Mass baptisms were a Klan ritual, as was the cradle roll, a group of children whose parents intended to raise them toward participation in the group as they grew. In many ways, life as a child of the Klan followed the social norms of middle-class white society of the time. Children marched in parades, went to picnics and summer camps, and recited the Pledge of Allegiance, but the context in which they played and celebrated was sinister. Overtly committed to white supremacy and underlined by the Klan's violent attempts to bend society to its racist ideals. Those threats lured just beneath the surface, those threats lurked just beneath the surface, as in a 1924 advertisement for the Cool Coast Camp, KKK, Cool Coast Camp in Rockport, Tennessee. The brochure promised, quote, a real family recreation under high-class moral conditions for Klan members. I'm going to stop right there when they said high class. Think about where Nolan was, well, the area that Nolan resided at. And those young men that he hung around. Because there were other black people. There's other black folks in Ocean Springs. And Nolan's family is not, elite. They're not part of the elite group. They're the normal people. They ain't hurting for nothing either, but they're not elite. However, Nolan hung around those boys. And I honestly believe they wanted Nolan around because he could bring them attention that they couldn't get on their own. Because, see, some attention money can't buy. Nolan didn't have to have a whole lot of money to get attention. All he had to do was be himself, his regular self. That's all he had to do. He had the charisma. He had the talent. He was athletic. He was all of those things that I'm sure others wanted to be and weren't. Because some people that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, that's all they have to hang on. The fact that their parents got money and they can have anything they want. But there's some things money can't buy. And Nolan had the things that he didn't have to have money to buy it. It came naturally. His teachers loved him. The principal loved him. The girls loved him. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the girls. Because where's Katie? I'm just wondering, where's Katie? There always seems to be a girl in the mix, somehow. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody got jealous because Nolan was talking to Katie or what. Who knows? But Nolan was the kind of guy, and we can all just remember back to high school. There was always that one girl that all the guys liked. Y'all remember that girl? Sometimes she was, she could be several different types of girls. There could have been the loose one, the one that gets passed around. but usually she's passed around, among her own kind. You know what I'm saying? Those within the same economic class, maybe, for example. Then there was that girl that was just the sweetest thing and beautiful on top of it, loved everybody, treated everybody well, you know, and the boys liked her too. All the boys liked her. All these different types of girls, and I'm trying to figure out what category Katie fit in. Because it was said that Nolan and Katie were friends the parents, Nolan's parents knew of her and loved her. She'd been on several different outings with the family and everything. So it's not like she was a stranger to the family, as opposed to some of these boys in this group. For instance, Warren, she didn't really know Warren. She knew of Warren, you know. I think it was, I can't recall who it was, if it was Wyatt, I think it was. I think he had spent the night or Wyatt had spent the night over at Nolan's house a couple times. There was different categories, I would say, of uh, the parents' familiarity of Nolan's friends, and we all grew up in that same situation. I had a lot of different people I associated with in high school. I don't consider myself all that. I wasn't all that popular then, but I had my own little people that I hung out with. But all of those people were not what I would consider my best friends. We just happened to be in the same group of people, or racial category, for one thing. But then even there was differences amongst that group. You had some that, they were into sports and different things that the others may not have been involved with. There was just a whole lot of categories amongst inside the group. So, but you hung with who you hung with, and you were best friends with who you were best friends with, and your parents knew who your best friends were. Nolan's parents knew who his best friends were. See, we keep hearing the term best friends ever since this happened. Now tell me if I'm wrong. Just tell me if I'm wrong. Put a 1 in the chat after I say this if you think that I'm wrong. Ever since this has happened, and these guys have come out on their platforms, on these interviews with Race Batum Tatum, giving, their story, wearing it out, to be truthful about it. I mean, if they would just shut up, they wouldn't be in the bind that they're in today. Okay? But ever since this came out, and they got up on that, Warren got up on that couch and talked to Brandon Tatum. My best friend, my best friend, my best friend. The word best friend was thrown around like, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, Sprite. He used that word, and then the others did as well. Best friend, best friend. Nolan must have had 523 best friends. Did Warren ever call any of them best friend? Did we hear him call anybody best friends? No. Am I right or wrong? Put a 1 in the chat if you see where I'm going with this. They call him best friend now because he's gone. And he's not here to refute that statement. Because I'm sure if Nolan had an opportunity to stand up and tell the world how they made him feel, I can almost guarantee you he would look at them boys and say, "Oh, really? That isn't how you really treated me." I don't know about y'all, but I had friends too that I wanted to be bigger friends with them, but I didn't feel as welcome by them as others. So I didn't consider those people as my best friends. Now, if something were to happen to me back then, I'm sure they would have been the first to come. But, oh yeah, Mickey was our best friend, yada yada yada. But I wasn't your best friend when I was alive, and I wanted to kick it with you, and you would maybe run off with somebody else and hide. And don't tell her we're here. See, those is the kind of friends I think Nolan had that day. Because wasn't it said that they really didn't want him to come that day to Horn Island? I felt from the very beginning of all this that when they talked about Nolan, they spoke up in a not so specific term that he was a tag along. You feel me? They tolerated Nolan. You don't tolerate your best friends. You take your best friends good with the bad. But see, there was something in Nolan that they needed in return. They allowed Nolan to be around them because there's just certain things that they could get with Nolan being around them than without him. That's all I'm saying. Nolan was friends with everybody. I wonder if that's the case with those young men. I wonder if they really did an interview with all those, I'll call them kids for now, that around that age group went to high school together, maybe junior high or middle school or whatever you want to call it, or growing up since kindergarten. I'm wondering if the same sentiments would be spoken from all those other kids that are not part of the elite status. See, there's something that I found out when I was in school. There was always that group of kids that were the well-off kids. I went to a school called Queen Anne High School. It was set up on the very top of the highest hill in Seattle, Washington, overlooked downtown Seattle. Beautiful view. Beautiful view. And if you lived up on Queen Anne Hill, you were living in a house from old money. Y'all know what old money means, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. Old money. Old money is that money that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. These were not brand new mansions, but they were mansions. And then there was those of us that attended that same school that lived across town in the Central District, which was considered the hood back then. And we were bussed out to that school. You had those people, us, okay? Then you had other white people that lived in the area of Queen Anne, but they weren't economically as prominent. Let me put it like that. There was stages, there was tiers of different statuses in high school. And I'm sure this goes with any other high school. I can only attest to what I grew up with and observed in high school. You had your snooty rich kids. Let's just put it plain. The snooty rich kids that dated other snooty rich kids. Then you had, your down for whatever hood, from the hood, dap it up. Everybody could look at each other in the eye and know what the other one's talking about, okay? And then you had the ones in the middle that just kind of, they was right there in the middle, and they had their own set of people, but they weren't too proud to kick it with hood folk. But them elite folks, those are the ones I'm talking about, the ones that were in prominent families. If they weren't necessarily in prominent families that had anything to do with government or whatever, they were still in money families. You get what I'm saying? So there's a behavioral difference as well. And I think that Nolan, because he, got along with everybody, those boys had boats. The other folks that he would normally be kicking it with didn't. Okay? He knew some friends that had boats. And it would be cool to go out there on Horn Island with the people that have boats. The people with the boats can get you to Horn Island, and you can have an experience on the 4th of July that maybe the other kids, other young people wouldn't be privy to having. I'll put it like that. You had to know somebody that could get you into the Horn Island Club, so to speak. Because there wasn't too many black folks out there on that island that day. Y'all feel what I'm saying? So when I hear them say, he was our guy, we really loved him, he was my best friend, I was his best friend, bullshit. Bull to the shit. Bullshit. They tolerated Nolan. And sometimes Nolan wanted to be around them when they didn't want to be around Nolan. Now, like I said, I don't know what happened, what precipitated him to no longer be with us. But I can honestly believe in my heart that they know. I'm not saying any specific one did anything, but they know something. I believe they know something. So I know I didn't read this whole KKK thing. I'm sure you guys don't want to even. Well, it wasn't that much left to go. Let me just finish this out, okay? See, it says the fiery cross guards you at night, and an officer of the law with the same Christian sentiment guards carefully all portals. The advertisement proclaimed. What was a wholesome summer camp to a child of the KKK was, to their parents, a place devoid of undesirable people and guarded by a sympathetic law enforcement official who the ad telegraphed was a KKK member too. Oh my goodness. Didn't we just talk about something like this? I'm going to highlight this. He's talking about some kind of an advertisement for those that were in this clan group, and I guess they had some kind of an advertisement out there for some activity. It says the fiery cross guards you at night, and an officer of the law with the same Christian sentiment guards carefully all portals, unquote. The advertisement proclaimed. Now, this was an ad. What was a wholesome summer camp to a child of the KKK was to their parents a place devoid of undesirable, and I mean the word undesirable is in quotes, people. What was a wholesome summer camp, Horn Island? What was a wholesome day out on Horn Island to a child of the KKK, a child of the elite whites of Ocean Springs? What was a beautiful day on Horn Island to a young person of the white elites was to their parents a place devoid of, quote, undesirable people, broke people, black people, a place devoid of, quote, we don't hang with them broke ones people. Keep those people away from our kids because we're not mixing blood. And then to add to it, it says, and guarded by a sympathetic law enforcement official who, the ad telegraphed, was a KKK member too. My God. Can that possibly apply to this? What they put in this ad was basically the mentality of an event or gathering of some kind for KKK people in the KKK. Just change a few words here and there and put places instead of another place, and undesirable people. Who would those people be? And who would help put it all up under the rug? The guarded by a sympathetic law enforcement official who's also a KKK member too, who's also maybe in the elite club too, someone that might be related to someone of higher authority too. I just thought that's boy, that shit just jumped out at me. And unfortunately, we only have 13 people in the house. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I really don't. But normally we have way more people in here, and I know maybe they done took me out the algorithm. Who knows? Because they doing some real funny style stuff about content creators that are covering Nolan Wells. And I started to see it yesterday, but I'm really seeing it today. For real. I can't remember the last time I had only 16 people in the entire. Oh, man, whatever. I'm not here to appease them anyway. So y'all share the live if you get a chance and hit the like button. Not that it matters because they do what they want to do. Anywho, nor did chances to participate in a white supremacist life end at summer camp. For a short time in the 1920s, it seemed as if students might be able to attend Klan colleges in both Indiana and Georgia. I was not getting my notification. You didn't get no notifications? Wow. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Ooh-wee. There were KKK. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up. For a short time in the 1920s, it seemed as if students might be able to attend Klan colleges in both Indiana and Georgia. Neither ever admitted students. There were KKK wedding rituals. There were KKK charitable giving events at which robed Klansmen invaded churches with donations. And after death, there were Klan funerals, which featured flower arrangements that formed the letters KKK. For devoted white supremacists, bigotry could be fostered from cradle to grave. Y'all think that might be happening today? I do. I really do. And it's starting to become so prevalent. Michelle said, what did you say? Michelle said, oh, you talking to Cece. Cece, if you can't contact her, I can. I can just do it after the live. Let's see. Last category. The KKK's second resurgence eventually faded, the victim of the Great Depression, several scandals, and the increasing irrelevance of fraternal organizations in a time of mass media, Social Security, and suburbanization Though the KKK's whole family image has long since faded, children still hold an appeal for white nationalist groups looking to recruit a new generation. They're recruiting them out there, y'all. Let's see. So do mothers, as a socialist Kathleen Blee notes. Women and mothers have played significant roles in almost every race hate movement of the modern era. And with mothers come children who are easy targets for groups founded on hate, bias, and a belief that they can mold the world into one defined by white supremacy. Let's see. Adventurous Youth says, Auntie Mickey, a lot of people may be in Biloxi, Mississippi for the prayer vigil and honoring of Nolan Wells today. That might be the case. It doesn't start yet, though. It starts in 15 minutes. I was going to put it on while I was live, but I can go ahead and end the live so everybody can go to their respective platforms if they want to watch it there. I don't necessarily have to air it here. There's only 16 people here. Hello, Darlene. How are you, love? Darlene, quick question for you. Did you get a notification? Because this has been really strange. Today has been really, really strange here on YouTube. My music went out and nobody's hardly here. They did a lot this morning too. Yes, they sure did. They sure did, Adventurous You. Well, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on here on YouTube. But hey, one monkey don't stop no show. And I don't mean monkey in a derogatory way. Oh, you just happened to see me on? Did you happen to see get a notification? Were your notifications on? Because this thing tells me I got 13 people. And I know better than that. I don't know if they shadow banned me or what. I don't know if they shadow banned me because of the topic. You know, because this is crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, that's okay. That is okay with me. But anyway, apparently the prayer vigil is due to start in about 12 minutes. Do you guys know where it's going to be at? If you don't, I can let you know. If you want to watch it from that particular platform. Or if anybody wants to hang out here, I can pull it up here as well. And let me see. I had it written down. Let me find it. Yep. The prayer vigil will be aired tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So put a 1 in the chat if you want to CME. What's CME, hon? It is so weird that I have no music. That is so crazy. Let me see if I can start it up. I'm going to try it again. Nothing. It's moving, but there's no sound. Unbelievable. Sound is up and everywhere. That's the place of the vigil. Yeah, I have the vigil being... Hi, Nadine. How are you, sweetie? I have the vigil as being on the Jamal Bryant podcast channel here on YouTube. You hear the music, Kendra? You You guys hear the music? Oh my God. That is so weird. I can't hear a bit of it. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad y'all can hear it. I'm glad you guys can hear it. Have you been able to hear it this whole time, or just now when I clicked on it again? This is weird. Unbelievable. Okay. Well, you guys hold tight. You guys wanted to watch this on this channel? Because I can pull it up. It doesn't start for another about 10 minutes or so. I can go ahead and, okay. It happened just now? Wow. I still can't hear a thing. I can hear myself through the mic, but I can't hear the music. I can't hear nothing else. This is so weird. I think it might be a StreamYard issue. But in the meantime, let me get ready to pull this up. I'm going to try to get this up in advance so we don't have to scramble later. This is going to be on the Jamal Bryant podcast here on YouTube. Let's be clear, that's the name of it. Okay, now let me see. I wonder if it's being advertised. No, I don't see it on here. It could be members only, but I don't see anything scheduled for him. Let me subscribe to him and see if that happens, if that works. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, there's definitely, Darlene said, and your comments are not coming up on my computer, but I see them on my phone. That is weird. That is so weird. Well, you know what? I think the best thing for me to do is just log out, and because I want you guys to be able to watch the vigil without any problems. And I'm having some technical difficulties on this end. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for as long as you did. I really do. And if I can get this vigil to come back up later, I'll jump on and start playing it. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and exit out of this live. I'm going to end the live and leave the afternoon to y'all to enjoy. But thank you so much for coming by. Hit the like button, share the live, and hopefully I get this StreamYard situation straightened out. Okay? Love you guys. Be cool. Peace out.
Hey there, my kinfolk, thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.